Hey guys, welcome to JazzedTutorials. This week's tutorial is going to be really awesome. Where I'm showing you how to create a cool chalkboard text effect, as I'm sure you could probably tell. If you couldn't tell, well, now you know. So, I already typed in my text, as you clearly can see. I've used this font called Block Letters Porthood, or Portwood. And I'll provide that for you in the description below, because that specific font is what's going to work best for this tutorial. But you are, as well, always free to use your own fonts if you feel like they look good to you. But in my humble opinion, I like this font, and it looks good to me. So we're going to use this one. Now, before I get started, I know a few of you out there are probably going to say, well, why can't you just go onto like defont.com and type in chalk text font? Yeah, you could do that, but it wouldn't be as cool as if you made it from scratch. So that's why I'm showing you how to do it from scratch. Alright, enough with that. Let's get started. So, type your text, and I've used two separate layers. I did Jazz as one and Tutorials as one because I felt like it's going to work better that way and be much easier than doing it all in one. So, here we go. So, after you type your text, you're going to hide each text layer, because what we're now going to do is we're creating a work path, which is basically almost like using the pen tool to trace them, but not really, because you're not tracing it, it's doing it for you, which is way simpler than doing it yourself. So take one of your layers and do a work path. Now you can only do one layer first, so just hit create. So right click and hit create work path, and you will then see this little kind of outline of your text. I'm going to zoom in a bit so I can show you some stuff. Alright, so once you have outlined your fabulous text with your work path, you're going to then go over here to your brushes palette thing. Make sure your brush is selected first. Make sure you have the brush tool selected first before you go over there, because it won't be available. Yeah. Alright, so you want to have these settings I'm going to show you in a second as put. So automatically when you go to brush tip shape, you want to select this 44 point chalk brush. Now this brush here comes standard with every version of Photoshop. If you don't see it in your brush swatch, you'll need to load it. I'm not sure which set it is. I know it's in Photoshop sets. When you go to your program file, presets and all that, it's in the preset section. I'm just not sure which one, because they have different names for them all. But anyway, it's in there. I swear to God. I know what I'm talking about. So click this one here. And you're going to change the size to roughly around 1920 px. Don't go any more than 25 px for your brush size. Otherwise, it'll look really weird and really ridiculous. So I'm using 19 point because I think it looks good for my text. But by all means, play around and see what looks good to you with your size. Alright, and your spacing should say 5% automatically. If not, change that to 5%, but more times than one, it will just say 5% automatically. And then you're going to check off shape dynamics. And you want to make sure that the size jitters all the way to 100%. And everything else can stay the same, except though, when you have control, make sure control has the words direction selected. So usually it'll say off, but you're going to turn that on to direction. Alright, and the rest can stay at off or at 0, so leave that alone. And then click on dual brush. And now on dual brush, you're going to also select another chalk-like brush that you have in your folder. Now again, if you don't see this one here, which is called, what is it called? It's a splatter brush, and it's 14 pixels. If it's not already in your palette, go ahead and load that. It's also in your presets. Honestly, I know it's there. I've seen it. And so it's there. You may have to load it, but trust me, it's there. And then once you've loaded it, go ahead and turn the size to 8 px. Your spacing should say 5%. If not, then change that. And then your scatter should say 157%. And both axes should be checked off, not checked at all. It should be like that. If it is checked, uncheck it. Alright. And then, of course, your count's going to stay at 1. That never changes, so leave that there. And then you'll just check off smoothing, and then you're good. And then you can go ahead and click out of that screen. Alright, now is where we create the text effect. So go ahead and you select your pen tool. You're not going to actually use the pen work path at a time. So pen tool, but in order to make the stroke path, you need to have the pen tool selected. I don't know. All right, now before you do anything else, you must create a new layer above all of that. So create a new layer above all of your text and all that, because that's where you're going to have your cool chalk effect placed. So once you have your new layer made, right click the whole thing with the pen tool selected, and you're going to click on stroke path. Now it might say pencil on yours, but mine says tool used is brush. Make sure that that is selected and click OK. Now, obviously, okay, now you're going to see this. It's going to be a little different. I already have this particular color chosen in my swatch. You are free to use white if you would like, or you can use any color you would like at this point. Now, before we go any further, I want to explain to you another way of doing this particular tutorial, because there are multiple ways of doing this tutorial to make it look awesome. You could go ahead and do it this way with a single color, but if you would like to have each different letter a different color, this is what you got to do. So go ahead and not do what you just did. So we're going to go back. So leave it there. Don't do the whole stroke path just yet. Go over here to your lovely directional tool, which is below your type tool, by the way, and select the direction selection tool. This is going to enable you to select each additional letter as a path. So it'll look as if you used the pen tool, but you didn't, kind of thing. Alright, so go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see it. So take that and just click on it, and boom. It automatically has now made a path for that particular letter. So, like we just did, we're going to do the same thing like we just did, but only on that one letter. And you're going to go ahead and make a stroke path, and it's going to say subpath, and you want to hit stroke on subpath. And then you will, again, hit OK because you want the brush and that. Why, you just got to do it that way. And then you will have that one color. Alright, now, if you want to do other colors, go over here to your color swatch and change up your color. Now, in case you don't already know, which you should know this, but chalk is usually a lighter color, so don't go using like a big black chalk, because who uses black chalk? Seriously. So make sure that when you select your colors, that you're selecting really bright light colors. Alright, and now I'm going to do the A. And stroke subpath, blah, blah, blah. And you will then see that each layer is now, color is being selected. So, I'm just going to quickly blow through this so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And you don't have to do it this way if you don't want to. You can do it all white if you want. Doesn't matter. But I happen to like different colors because I think it looks pretty cool. Alright. Alright, so I have my first word already created. Now, once you have each of your letters done, hit your enter key, and that will then delete the work path, and you'll have just the actual effect. So you'll have just that, and not the actual pen tool anchors showing. So there you go. That's your first one. So now, for my second one, I'm not going to do the whole like different colored letter things. I'm just going to probably do just a simple white. So before anything else, I'll change my color to white. And then again on this one, I'll just create a work path. And I'll do, oops, haha, just kidding. And then stroke path it, and boom. Alright, there we go. That looks awesome to me. Hit my enter key, get rid of that, and boom. Okay, now we're almost done, but there's one more step you have to kind of do. And I happen to think it looks pretty, it enhances this photo really well. So go ahead and add a gradient map adjustment layer. I've already done so up here because I wanted to just have it there to use. And you want to choose these colors here. This is a very light brown. Yeah, this color particularly here. And then on the right side, you'll see I use white. And then click OK. And you're going to change that layers blend mode to multiply. And the opacity is going to be at 40%. And the reason why I did that, and you can see that kind of sort of, is it kind of gives it more of a contrasty like tone to the image. And if I do the eye, you'll see the difference. See? Boom. You'll see how it's more green on the background of that chalkboard than light. So, alright, well there you guys go. That's that tutorial. That's awesome, I hope. And what's really cool about this too is you could probably use this as a Facebook cover photo. Not gonna lie, guys, that would look pretty rad. So I might actually try that on my I might actually do that on my Facebook page. You never know. I might just put it there. Yeah, I think I will, just because I'm a cool kid. All right, well that's it. Thanks guys for watching, and always subscribe, comment, and like because you're awesome, and that's what awesome people do. So. Alright, oh, and before I go, keep checking back on my second channel. I have a new outro, the intro thing at the end of the video. I do a new thing now, so you can see the previous video, and you can also visit my next channel, because I have 2 channels now, if you didn't know, but you should know by now because you've watched my previous video. So, 2 channels now. The other second channel, I probably don't update as much. This was my first love. This is my first channel, so I'll always update on this channel. But once in a while, when something awesome happens or I'm doing something fun, I'll vlog about something cool and post on that channel. So check that channel. It's called Jazz Vlogs. If you want to suggest a cool video for me to make on that channel, a cool vlog or something to talk about, let me know in the comments or whatever, and I'll do it because I'm cool like that, and I love you all. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.